It's your girl Nell, and welcome to Simply Nell's Tiny Studio. This is a Dreadlock love video, baby. You know what time it is. It's that time we talk about all things lock love, care, and maintenance. How are you doing today? It is Tuesday. I think it's September the 9th, 2025. Yes, it is September 9th, 2025. How are you doing? I hope you're having a fantastic Tuesday. I'm having a decent Tuesday. It's okay. It ain't all that, but it's all right. Listen, it is September, of course, and it's back to school time for a lot of our young people. And if you are a lock mom, a lock diva, a lock king, if you have children, you may have decided to start your kids' lock journey, and they are back in school. Now, this video is about, it's about how to help our kids navigate the waters of being in school wearing locks. I think I did a video about this some time ago, maybe a year or two ago, but I heard something on the internet, or I read something on social media, and it was about a child that was being teased because of their locks. And I said, you know what, that would be a great topic to talk about here in the tiny studio with my lock niece kings and queens who have children who are wearing locks. And my daughter, the tiny studio assistant, she wore locks. Let me see, I think she started locking, I think she was 13 when she started locking her hair, beautiful crown of locks, and they were so beautiful. I was so proud of her. I'm still proud of her, but at 13 to make such a decision, that was pretty major for her. And I'm really, really proud of her to be able to make that decision. But when you're sending your kids to school with locks, unfortunately, they're going to be faced with some situations, and they are going to definitely, unfortunately, run into other children who are going to bully them because of their locks. I have heard so many different stories from parents about the things that their kids go through when they're in school and they have locks. So many kids that come home upset because other children, will call their locks nappy, kinky, make fun of them, say, who ask questions like, why didn't your mom comb your hair before they sent you to school? Crazy things like that. And I'm not trying to say that, what I'm trying to say is that bullying in itself is bad. But when you have a situation where your kids are being bullied because of their hair, because of their locks, I mean, it can present a special type of circumstances that warrant a conversation to prepare your kids for unfortunately, the inevitability of someone pointing out their locks. And what I say to parents, and what I did with my own daughter, is you have to have that conversation with them about locks, about why they are wearing locks and the significance of wearing locks. Now, as I've said in the past, for some people, locks is a hairstyle, and for other people, locks is a journey, or it could be a lifestyle, or what I like to say is a spiritual journey, part of your spiritual walk with the universe or with God. And if your child is wearing locks, or you've made a decision that your child should wear locks because it's just a hairstyle, well, then it's really, really important that you have a conversation with them, and that you help them to understand that locks are not bad. Locks, as far as combing hair and things of that nature. We do comb our hair, we do brush our hair, we do all of the things that everyone else does to their hair. It's just that our hair looks a little different and it grows in a manner that's different from everyone else. But the thing is that whether your child is wearing locks because it's a hairstyle or it's part of your spiritual or cultural walk, what we have to do is we have to build confidence in our kids. We have to let them know that wearing locks and what it means to us is that it is a significant way of life and that it is something that we wear to express our godliness or the goddess of us or the spiritual walk and journey of life that we how do I want to say this, that we enjoy or that is acceptable to us. I wanted to, when with my daughter, I started her on the Loc'd journey when she was young. She had to be about 2 or 3 years old. And then when she began to, when she started kindergarten, my husband requested that I remove her locks because he did not want her to endure any teasing or bullying because of locks. And I understood that. I understood that because for me as an adult, I went through bullying and things of that nature because of wearing locks. And I'm an adult. And it was a very difficult decision to wear locks because of I knew the reception that I would receive. So when my husband suggested that we remove the locks from my daughter before she entered kindergarten, I understood where he was going through, because even though I'm an adult and I can take it, you know, being a child or having a child go through that same type of situation, it's a little different and it's more sensitive, in my opinion. And that's why we decided to take my daughter's locks out when she went back to school, when she started school. But later on in life, she wanted, around 11, she wanted to not wear ponytails or anything anymore. She wanted to be natural. So she wore an afro from, and she saw her brothers wearing afros and she loved it. And my mother and my grandmother, wear afros as well. And so she wanted to be like them. And so she began to wear an afro at around the age of 11. And it became a natural progression for her to want to wear locks. But the thing is that I allowed her to make her own decisions where it came to her hair. Now, you as an adult, as a parent, you may not run into that situation or may not have ran into that situation with your partner as far as maintaining and keeping your child in locks going through school. And what I can tell you is that having a conversation to build your child's confidence in themselves and confidence in why they're wearing locks and confidence in what locks are will help them withstand the bullying that they may receive. And I always find that when parents talk to their children, instill God in them, make them feel or believe that they are godly and that they are beautiful and they are precious in the eyes of the universe, that they are a star, one of millions upon millions upon billions of stars in this universe. They walk more proudly and with their head up and their crown of locks up than a person who is just a child who is just thrust into the school system with locks and the conversation has never happened. And when you already know as an adult that kids can be mean and cruel. And you already know that locks, even though right now they are sort of acceptable to wear, there are still people within our own culture who look at locks as, who look down on locks and who believe locks to be, you know, just dirty, ugly, you know, satanic, you know, unchristian, all of the things. When you already know that and the possibility of your child being bullied because of their locks, it's really important to have that conversation and to let your children know that they are loved and that they're not dirty, that their locks are not dirty, that they are beautiful human beings, that their locks are antennas to being spiritual beings. I mean, it's really important that you talk to your kids to prepare them for what may happen, for what they may see, for what they may hear. Another thing is it's important to have the conversation with your locked children about making sure that people don't touch their hair. That's important as well. As Black people, we already have a thing about people touching our heads. I mean, from very, very young, being very young, it was a thing with my mother. Please don't let anyone touch your hair. Don't use anybody's comb or brush. Don't let anyone touch your hair. And as people who are locked, we also have a thing about a more compounded thing about people touching our locks. So you want to stress to your child, any unwanted touching of the hair, you must stand up for yourself and you must reject. If someone wants to touch your hair, they must ask for permission. And you have to feel comfortable with granting them permission to touch your hair. But other than that, it's off limits. Discuss with your child also that if a teacher or someone in authority comes to them and has an issue with their locks, that they need to let you know. The parents must be informed that there is an issue with your child's locks. The teachers, principals, counselors, no one should be trying to touch your child's hair. No one should be trying to cut your child's hair, style your child's hair. If they have an issue with your child's locks, that you need to be informed. And sometimes you can have this conversation with the teacher at the beginning of the school semester to just let them know that, you know, I don't want, if you have issues with my daughter or my son's locks, you need to come to me. Please don't address my child. I know in the past there was a situation that occurred where a student was competing in a sports competition, and the referee said that the student was disqualified from the competition because of their locks, because of the student's locks and or the length of their locks. And so the coach went ahead and for the sake of competition asked the child, was it okay for them to cut their locks? And the student said, yes, go ahead and cut them. Okay. And I have a lot of opinions about that. But here is the thing. That student, in my opinion, was pressured, okay, because the people around him were not a part of his culture and were not a part of his racial makeup or background. So automatically, that situation was stressful. And of course, in the name of teamwork, team effort, this young man decided to go ahead and allow his coach to cut his locks. That, I don't know what eventually happened with that case, what the parents' thoughts were on the coach cutting the locks. I don't know. I don't know. There's another case where there was a situation that happened and a teacher cut the student's locks and there was some type of lawsuit going on. I don't know, but I do understand this. When it comes to what other cultures or non-melanated cultures believe about our hair and our locks, we have to teach our children to take a stand for what is right. Take a stand for what they know and believe to be is right. Okay? And in that situation, in my opinion, the young man should have refused to have his locks cut in the name of team, and the coach should have never touched that young man's locks. That was not that coach's place to touch his locks at all. And let's go even further. The referee should not have, and it come to find out later, the ref, was wrong in doing what, or instituting or trying to implement a rule that was never on the books. But it really comes to the fact that non-melanated people really do not have a respect for culture or the melanated culture of us. They really don't have that respect for us. So we have to prepare our kids for what could happen. And unfortunately, with this young man, even though he was so interested in making sure his team won, and they did win the game, what did you have to do to win? You had to give up something of yourself, a part of yourself, to win for a school or a team that really did not support you. Because for us who wear locks, it's not just hair. It's not just hair. So these are the things that we have to sit down and talk to our kids about this semester, sending them back to school, sending them in a place where, locks can be vilified and are vilified. And, it's just really, really sad that we as a culture have to educate ourselves, educate our children to prepare them to be in situations with other melanated like children who may not be educated on what locks are and the beauty of locks. And they may say things to our kids that are, troublesome, that are heartbreaking, hurtful, rude, mean, insulting. But we have to prepare our kids for that. One other tip that I have for parents of children with locks is that for me, what I made sure that I did was I made sure that my daughter kept her locks pretty. What does that mean? Okay, what that meant is that I made sure that my daughter kept her locks, that she had accessories to beautify her locks. So she had all kinds, all colors of headbands. I made sure that she had shells and beads and different things like that. I made sure that when she stepped out the house to go to school, I made sure that her crown was absolutely her crown every day. And it's not that she may have, because as she became a teenager with locks, she did a whole lot of different things with it. She styled her locks. She did, she had flowers in her locks at one time. Sometimes she would put, butterflies and things like that in her locks. And she understood that it was her hair. She could still express herself with locks, but the idea is to make it beautiful. What you want to do is you want to show people who may not be educated on what locks are. You want to show them the beauty of possessing such a head, such a crown. Okay, you want to show them that it has nothing to do with villainy. It has nothing to do with demonic properties and all of those things that people who are Christians say that locks are. It has nothing to do with that. Locks are antennas of the universe. They are ways of means of spirituality. And even if you're not wearing locks for spiritual significance, you're wearing them because you want to wear them. They can be beautiful. You can dress them and make them beautiful. And even though I don't have anything in my locks, I think I have some shells somewhere. Yeah, there's one. Even plain locks are beautiful, but if you want to help your kids, your locked children really flourish and really, present locks to people in a way, to other children in a way that they can be educated without saying anything, beautify the locks, make them look beautiful, style them, do all the things. Okay, all the things. And I'm not trying to say that that's going to stop some child from being, a little ignorant and rude and mean, and say things like you need to brush your hair and comb your hair, all that crazy stuff. No. But what I am saying that it may perhaps lessen the attacks. Okay, it may lessen the attacks. And then also it'll be a way to teach your child how to really look at locks as a sacred thing, as a sacred style, So that's all I have to say about that. I meant this to just be a 15-minute video, but now it is a 20-something minute video. But if you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to drop in the comment section to have that conversation with me. And happy 2025-26 school year to all of the locked children, the locked princesses and princes out there in the world today. Okay, I'm your girl Nell. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that like button. I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.